Now to Together We Rise, a series where we examine divisive issues and solutions to help us all get better together. Tonight we explore how murals in San Antonio and across the country can be a silent protest.
Reporter Audrey Castoreno and photojournalist Mike Vigil share the power of the paint.
Drive in the heart of San Antonio and you'll find buildings splashed with color. Pictures depicting the city's rich culture, music icons, pop culture, hometown sports teams, or even memorials. These pieces can turn your basic brick and mortar into a canvas for a story to be told.
That's what we work for, is creating those kind of memories for people, with our work.
For the last 35 years, the streets of San Antonio are where artist Alex Rubio trained in public art.
I feel art has saved my life. Growing with the murals and seeing how these murals, impact community just inspires me to go out and, keep up with current events, keep up with community politics and national politics.
Rubio's most recent work, commissioned by the City and Public Health Department, memorializes a well-known member of the South Side community, while also spreading a message of getting vaccinated against COVID-19.
To me, I think that's a very important social political issue. There's a high percentage of Latinos that are not vaccinated.
Rubio identifies as a contemporary Chicano artist inspired by El Movimiento, or the Chicano movement, working his entire career to spread important messages in the Latino community.
It's a movement that was based back in time during social injustice, just like the Black Lives Matter movement is today. Well, the Chicano movement was that movement back in the 60s for Latino Americans and Chicanos.
At the same time, a mural movement.
Murals have always served as a form of public protest and public awareness. I think that we as a community need this form of community activism. I feel that they inspired me when I was growing up to actually join a nonprofit arts organization and help that movement become part of solutions, awareness. These are all part of public art. But with this inspiration,
an outreach set to inspire everyday people where they live.
I think public art becomes part of your life. You walk by it every day. It's a west side mural, it's a south side mural. East side and north side all have their iconic images. Those are pieces that become San Antonio icons, neighborhood icons. You protect them sometimes.
Protecting and sharing these icons is what Guaufli Reina does with his city art walks.
This is a real important mural because this one is actually named Cultura y Revolución, so culture and revolution. So all of this mural here is just kind of like a broken up story about how our people use culture as a means to fight against injustice and disparities in economics and the way we're seen as people of color.
Reina is a member of San Anto Cultural Arts, a nonprofit that focuses on art through community engagement.
Do you think a lot of these murals around San Antonio touch on these social issues like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's not just, here in San Antonio, but Chicano muralism on a whole is kind of based on putting our voice in picture form so that everybody can see it. That's where we cry out from our barrios, and that's where we cry out from our communities as people and as neighbors.
Murals also touching on issues happening now.
This mural was in quick response to the death of Vanessa Guillen and the lack of response to her death.
When something not only in our community and the state, but across the country happens, like, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, why do you think public art is so powerful?
It's this silent form of protest, but it's large. It's something that you can't ignore. And also it's just when you take something like art, this beautiful, and you make it something that wants to be seen, people can't ignore it.
Pieces that can show the beauty of these neighborhoods.
Tell us a little bit about, what is this mural called? We're here on the east side now.
Yeah, this is East Side is Love. The idea of it was to commemorate and acknowledge both the existence and the work that both Native people and the Black community here in Texas and San Antonio did to build up what San Antonio and the East Side is today.
And a lot of times that gets lost in, what the East Side many times is known for, gun violence, gang violence. Why was this so important to depict the rich history and also the future?
I mean, even the city itself is trying to figure out ways to get people to acknowledge the other aspects of this community. But in reality, the only reason that those aspects of the community even exist is, because of the economic disparity that early segregation in Texas towns like this constantly creates.
Creations at the intersection of art and social justice that will continue to move closely together.
Murals, music, and poetry help people share that message that is unheard, and that's a lot of the issue. Is people of color often feel unheard. So we create these platforms where we can't be ignored, whether that be as far back as the Farm Workers Union and the grape strikes, or like Black Lives Matter today.
It's something that I think we will be struggling with and fighting for years to come. And I don't think a movement should ever really die, because then that implies that we've come to that finalization of injustice.
Proving the power behind the paint can have a long-lasting effect. With photojournalist Mike Vigil, Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
For more Together We Rise content, go to kens5.com/originals.